It has been nearly 5 years since father left our family. That span of time is long enough for tears to stop falling every day. Yet it is not long enough to erase the ache of missing him. There are longings that do not fade with the passing years. On the contrary, they grow heavier as we age. Because the more I mature, the more I can understand the sacrifices that father silently bore throughout his life. Even in my dreams, I long to see my father again. Before closing my eyes, I always tell myself that when I fall fast asleep, father will appear in my dreams once more. On the outside, I force myself to always appear strong, so that mother, my husband, and the children can lean on me. But in reality, I am just a paper tiger. I still silently cry all by myself every night. And I often wake up suddenly in the middle of the night, sobbing uncontrollably like a little child. But since the day I decided to return to mother, I feel much happier, my heart is lighter, and I am less easily startled upon waking up. Now, I only wish for mother to be truly healthy and live happily with her children and grandchildren. Since father passed away, mother has been wandering around the house all by herself, day and night, making friends with the empty fields. Many times I wish my family and I could travel back to the memories of the old days. Back then, the 4 of us would gather to eat meals, sleep, work, and play together. When I was young, I always thought my parents would be there forever. Just like the sun that rises every morning. Just like the house that always stands at the end of the road. I remember in the old days, my father was very talented. He was a well-known traditional physician in the region. Father used to wade through streams and trek through forests to gather many precious medicinal plants to treat the villagers. From those suffering from joint pain and spinal degeneration to rheumatism. Every treatment he gave for joint-related illnesses was highly effective. Father spent his whole life doing charity and saving people, never seeking fame, nor caring about money or material wealth. That is why our house remained poor through the years, with a roof covered in green moss that leaked everywhere whenever it rained. Even so, when sick people came to him, after treating them, he would even give them rice to take home. Because of that profound virtue, many people respectfully looked up to him and became his adopted children. Father always told me one thing: if the father eats salt, the children will suffer from thirst. He always wanted to live righteously to accumulate blessings, leaving a legacy of virtue for his descendants later on. To my parents, my younger brother and I were 2 priceless gifts, their lumps of gold, their precious diamonds. So even though we lived in a secluded village, my brother and I were still raised with a proper education and grew up wrapped in the warm love of our family. This year I have just turned 30. 30 days ago, I decided to leave the city to return to my homeland, Ninh Binh. When I see mother growing older by the day in the old house. When I see my husband with his heart condition, unable to do heavy labor. When I see my 2 children growing up day by day. I understand that there are places I must return to carry the weight. Sometimes, looking at the 2 children, my heart is filled with anxiety. I worry about what the future holds for my 2 children. Life in this countryside brings me peace, away from the worries of the city. But for the children, this place means a lack of almost everything. This morning, when the sun had not fully risen, when everything was still submerged in the blurry mist of the mountains and forests, I went out to find bamboo shoots again. Look, there on the distant horizon, the sun is beginning to peek through. The very first rays of dawn gently pierce through the mist, lighting up the entire peaceful countryside. The small dirt path leads into the dense, spiny bamboo bushes, where the summer shoots are silently pushing through the soil. The scent of damp earth after last night's rain blends with the smell of decayed dry bamboo leaves. I walk very slowly, my eyes looking anxiously all around and pushing through the sharp spiny bamboo branches scratching against my clothes. To find good bamboo shoots, one must look closely at the cracked soil or the slightly raised earth mounds. I bend down low, using my hands to part each layer of decayed leaves to clear away the loose soil on top. A young bamboo shoot appears, its body is plump, the outer shell still holds droplets of pure morning dew. The spiny bamboo shoots this season are very young and tender. I can easily snap them off using just my bare hands. The sound of the bamboo breaking echoes with a crisp snapping and cracking, a deeply familiar sound of the forest. Today I got lucky, so I gathered a great deal of bamboo. It counts up to over 20 big and small shoots, completely filling the bag I brought along. I tie the mouth of the bag tightly, carrying it heavily on my shoulders, step by step walking through the thorny bushes to return home. Back at the house, after dropping the heavy bag of bamboo at the corner of the yard and packing it away neatly, I continue my journey to go gather lotus flowers. I make my way back to the vast lotus pond right at the foot of the mountain. The scenery of my hometown appears so poetic now that the entire lotus pond is in its full blooming season. Hundreds of white and pink lotus flowers blend together, racing to blossom under the golden sunlight. I wade into the cool water, gently parting the broad lotus leaves to carefully pick the cleanest lotus flowers. Looking down, I see young lotus seed pods tucked behind the petals, though currently the pods are still a bit small. I silently think to myself, if I just wait patiently for about another month, when the summer sun pours down its rich golden honey, this lotus pond will yield plump, fully formed lotus seeds. Fresh lotus seeds from the Ninh Binh countryside. When cooked into a refreshing rock sugar sweet soup, steamed with fragrant sticky rice, or elaborately crafted into traditional baked and sticky mooncakes, are all incredibly delicious and highly nourishing for one's health. Living in a place like this, it seems like one does not even need money, as long as you are hard-working enough. When going out to the fields, up the hills, up the mountains, or deep into the forest, anywhere we go, there will always be a ready source of food for survival. Humans and all living things will always be sheltered and nourished by Mother Nature, right here amidst the great Kuk Fuong primeval forest. From humans and birds to the animals we raise at home, everything grows up from the gentle milk source of Mother Earth. Far away from the bustling city life, where people must exhaust their entire strength to make a living just to get daily food. Right here we can easily obtain fruits, wild vegetables, and the most delicious meals straight from nature. A whole vibrant bunch of white and pink lotuses in my hands, carrying the full life force and soul of the countryside. I bring the lotuses home, reverently placing them on the altar to light an incense stick for Father. Letting the gentle smoke blend with the pure fragrance of the lotuses to speak the words my heart longs to say. I am back with Mother now, Father, to prepare for lunch. I handle every single step with my own hands, wandering into the small garden around the house to harvest the gifts of the earth. I pluck the medium-aged green leaves of the nonai plant, which carry a strong, wild herbal scent. Next, I bend down to gather thick culantro leaves with their sharp, serrated edges, releasing a pungent aroma that instantly stimulates the appetite. And I walk around to the back eaves, selecting a bunch of green bananas, cutting a few young ones with a knife as the milk-white sap oozes out, smelling richly of the deep forest. All of these rustic greens and fruits are prepared for a pot of braised fish with bamboo shoots, bursting with countryside character. Today at home, Uncle Bon, our neighbour next door who just cast his net in the pond, brought over a beautifully fresh fish. This pond fish has firm and very sweet meat. I take the fish to the edge of the well to clean it, cut it into thick steaks and begin the seasoning process. I meticulously measure out each grain of coarse sea salt. Pour a rich stream of pure traditional fish sauce. Add a pinch of monosodium glutamate, crushed old ginger, and fragrant small shallots. The fish is tossed evenly with the seasonings, layered tightly with fresh bamboo shoots, noni leaves, cilantro, and sliced green bananas, letting it sit for a while to deeply infuse into every fiber of the meat. I light the wood stove with dry bamboo stalks from the corner of the yard, the flames leaping up to warm the old kitchen space. The fish braised with bamboo shoots begins to simmer gently on the wood stove, the kitchen smoke rising thickly, blending into the thatched roof and moss-covered tiles. Cooking on a wood stove makes the eyes sting a little from the rising smoke. But it is precisely the rich aroma of the braised fish blending with the local seasonings, infused with a hint of that characteristic wood smoke, that creates an incredibly delicious family dish, a flavor that no modern gas or induction stove could ever replicate. While waiting for the pot of braised fish to dry down, I turn to make the bamboo shoot salad. The wild young bamboo shoots gathered from the hill, after being peeled clean of their skin, are shredded by hand into small, evenly long strips. Once shredded, I boil the bamboo shoots thoroughly once again. This secret helps the bamboo shoots turn a beautiful color and completely removes the inherent bitterness and harshness of wild shoots. The boiled bamboo shoots are scooped out into a basket, and once cooled, I use my hands to squeeze out all the water tightly, leaving the shredded shoots completely dry. I prepare the fresh herbs and seasonings, including chopped scallions, cilantro from the garden, traditional fish sauce, coarse salt, a touch of white granulated sugar, crushed roasted peanuts, and juicy fresh limes. I place the dried bamboo shoots into an old aluminum basin, drizzle the lime juice and sweet fish sauce, then scatter the herbs and roasted peanuts on top, mixing everything thoroughly by hand so the shoots deeply absorb the sour, spicy, salty, and sweet flavors. This bamboo shoot salad with peanuts and fresh herbs has a crunchy texture, the richness of the peanuts, and the refreshing taste of the wild shoots. So delicious that I can eat it in place of rice without ever getting tired of it. The kitchen smoke rises, blending with the aroma of the food, making the old kitchen cozy. Mother sits beside me, silently watching me cook. That moment feels strangely peaceful. But looking up at the weathered eaves, looking at the cramped kitchen space that Mother has struggled to use through rain and shine for so many years, I know I cannot let things remain like this forever. This afternoon, after the meal, I take the hoe to the corner of the yard. I clean up the layers of leaves that have fallen over time, gathering the old weathered bricks and roof tiles to throw away and clear the ground. Once the corner of the yard is tidy, I begin digging the very first holes to bury the pillars. My hometown is mostly filled with spiny bamboo. The stalks are a bit slender, but in return the soil here is very firm and the bamboo grows thick. I want to build a kitchen, completely out of bamboo. For Mother and my family, a simple bamboo kitchen, yet enough to shelter from the sun and rain. So Mother no longer has to worry whenever the wind turns. My husband is often sick and weak. No matter how frail I might be deep inside, I must pull myself together to be the pillar of this family. I hope that Mother Nature of this grand forest will shield and protect my small family. Every strike of the hoe today, and every spiny bamboo pillar tomorrow, will gradually create a kitchen space that preserves the fire of family bonds. With the very first strikes of the hoe delivered, my journey of building the bamboo kitchen officially begins today. The packed earth beneath my feet remains firm. The packed earth beneath my feet remains firm. And all good things will begin with the smallest tasks, right here, on this very land.